that screw in there. I can't get that closed all the way.
That's all right. People are just gonna. Do you want to draw something on your hand, or a symbol on a piece of paper and put it in the background? We should do that.
Okay. All right. Okay, then.
You got a piece of printer paper?
Yeah. Okay. Go over there where the camera. See where the camera case is? Just reach around behind the camera case. Yeah.
Sharpie or.
Yeah. Now listen. We have to put it in, and then if you do a cut, then we take it off.
Why don't we put it up there?
Okay. That's
And
good.
then when we do a pan, it'll just be. It'll be like, what the hell is that? Kid did that on our record too.
He did some on his
One
hand.
thing on his hand, he was like, oh god. But he did like an actual.
Oh.
So, on your first expedition unknown, someone saw this Manhattan map.
Yeah.
That all of a sudden was a clue.
Yeah.
I'm trying to remember all the things that people thought were clues in your studio. I was always curious how you did the texture for this painting, and now it's like, okay, it's textured.
Well, some of them are, and some of them aren't. You know, this one is.
But this one, you painted some texture, but there's also texture.
Well, yeah, it's spattered on, and I got into this. There's an artist that I like. In fact, give me back my book yet. Robert Vickery, the egg temper painter, would do this thing where he would mask off stuff. His looks more realistic, and I really glazed the hell out of this with color and stuff. And but I've done them where they're more refined, and it looks like real stone when you're done because you spatter. It's like you're almost creating concrete, like a concrete kind of texture to paint off of, and it's really kind of neat. This one, I kind of realize how heavy-handed I is, and
there's so many things that are confusing about this painting, like this line that goes nowhere,
yeah,
and this face that no one's ever really been able to see.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah, and the spoon.
Yeah, well,
in it.
So there's a parapet road that people assume that spoon is supposed to be.
I can't.
Yeah.
The thing is, I can't remember when. We should talk about this too. When Jason Pat, is that his name?
Yeah.
When he started mentioning stuff, like it wasn't that like, oh, that's why Byron wanted me to paint that, or that's what he had this photo for, and that, and you know, like I had shots of Old Ironside, and I told him that we shouldn't use it because people know, right?
Yeah.
Right. So that some of these here are the flags. Yeah.
Well, maybe one thing that we could do is I could tell you how people solved these two with these paintings.
How they what?
How these two were used in the solve. What people think they know about these paintings. So you kind of know what.
I'm going to do another one like that.
So you'll kind of know what everybody's playing field is.
Okay. Well, you mean what? You mean
like the outline of Ohio, Terminal Tower, the
Yeah.
backwards latitude and longitude coordinates, maybe the forest city kind of thing. And then in Boston, the area code. And nobody really knows anything else about Boston, about the Boston painting, except what you said.
I can go for a few minutes. Well, see, the thing was, that's why Byron. That's why I thought for sure it was the that green monster. Fenway Park.
Yeah.
And it wasn't. And the thing was, they didn't know what the. And Josh said it. He said, "I don't understand what this round thing was. It's the skating rink or something. It's whatever this portal was." And I'm thinking, it's a porthole for a ship.
Yeah.
You know, it's meant to symbolize a porthole from the.
See. Now, so we always thought with Chicago, Cleveland, and Boston, Chicago and Cleveland, the nickname of the city seems to be in the painting. So you've got Windy City for Chicago, you got Forest City for Cleveland.
I don't know that. What do I have for Chicago? Windy
Just
City.
it's the only Chicago, the big windmill, and then in the sketches you got
not only the windmill,
sock.
but I changed the windmill, Windy City, into the water tower. It's the water tower that's on the lakefront there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then, because the reason we put that together was because in the sketches, in one you've got a sock and one you've got a boat sail, it seemed very wind-oriented.
Yeah, I might have done something like that too. Are there 125,000 subscribers? Is that, like, I was at 12,000.
So it's like 12,000 subscribers. It's not a lot. So
It almost it looks like 125,000 or 100.
I think that's the views. So our podcast, the YouTube, we get nothing. we get maybe a couple thousand views. On the podcast, we get 15,000 downloads a month per roughly.
Now, where's the podcast originate from?
The website, but it's also on it's on iTunes and Google Podcasts. Podcasts are huge now. So, and I think that was just sort of the last time I looked. It was at 15,000 a month. So I don't, as much as I like doing the video, I like editing, I like making stuff. The bread and butter is the audio version. So yeah, we're at 35,000 this month.
What, views on that?
On podcast, yeah.
Now, is that through the 12 Rose Treasures website? You have an ISP on that then?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's through, is that cumulative through YouTube and?
Just the audio downloads. So I think the highest video that we've got on YouTube is 22,000 total, and that's Brian and Andy's video where they found the cask.
Yeah. Where should I put this? I should put it in the back where it's. I'm sick. I threw the lid away. Still have the key though.
You have the key.
That's all this.
Brian's is all messed up. Rob gave his back. I've never seen one.
Well, they're painted though. See, this is not. That was one of the things of how they were painted, and also it was in the lid. Now my lid didn't have anything in it. Joe Allen went and put stuff in after the fact. The lid I had broken, I threw it out. I should have tried to prepare it. Because Josh was like, well, this is what, he was like, oh, so should I put this by the drum,
That's it. Yeah, that'd work.
Wait a minute.
Yeah, the cask that Joellen, I guess you and Joellen were the only ones that got an extra cask. And hers was unpainted too. The one that she gave to John.
Yeah. Well,
those are hard to find.
Well, it was.
Fly into the window?
I don't know. I found it. I don't think it's legally for me to have. That's why I don't want to say if you photograph it. Like you can't have any.
Birds of prey.
Yeah, and I had a stuffed owl in flight, but it was an old hunting thing, and it was like done back at the turn of the century. But I mean, you can't even have like these feathers here. Those when they kill something in the yard. We've had. They're not here this year. They kind of vanished. But for the last 2 of the 3 years, we've had nesting red-tailed hawks in our yard, and one was right above the patio and the thing, and they would always fly out when they'd see us. But
yeah, we have at our landfill. Oddly enough, we have bald eagles. Thousands of bald eagles.
Really? We have them here, but we don't have that many.
Every time one dies, it's like an act of Congress. People come out and take it.
Oh yeah, you can't. All right.
Okay.
No, I'm not in the light end anymore. Why? Well, I am, but I look darker. You know why? I'm not in the shot. Get yourself in there too. Are you in here?
I'll get in there. I'll get closer. I'll block the medieval scarecrow.
That's all right. Because you can go back in, like I'm saying, if you want to re-edit this. Yeah. If you do pans, and can you still like run the audio while you're doing pans? Like if we're talking about something.
Yeah.
Like you guys did. Like I didn't realize you dropped all that stuff in after the fact. Like you showed the Riddick thing, and then you showed the Mahjong thing, and you had all that, and then you showed the clip. That. What?
I bought that.
Did you really?
Yeah.
You got the game? Yeah. You have the game?
It sucks, by the way.
Does it really? Yeah, good.
I'd much rather like have a good shot of you and put me in later, rather than concern myself with getting me in the shot. Yeah, but
I would like to do at least. Let's do some of it where we're there for a 2-shot, and you're like reading off questions and stuff.
So we're recording. And can I record here too? I don't even know.
Where the heck?
So.
Oh, there we go. I want us both on the same level here. Well, there's the audio here. Okay.
That'll help.
You got enough? You got enough signal?
Yeah. So it's recording audio there, audio there, audio there.
Okay.
And then I can take whatever's good. Everything that I do, like before, I'm just going to send it to you so you can okay it.
Okay. All right.
But it should be better quality and a little better.
Where am I here? Okay. All right. I thought you were more over here. Okay. You want to back? Where are you in the shot? Where I can't see you.
Over here.
Okay. You're not in light. You don't have.
No, but it doesn't matter.
Just a minute, damn it. Yes, it does. Because there's a couple of things I want to do, and I need a 2-shot to do it.
Gotcha.
There we go.
And
Now we're more even. Okay.
Yeah, now I'm in light.
We're a little bit more even now. Okay.
I still did the bad thing about wearing a black shirt, but it's what I do.
All right. Well, I sometimes divert to the all black art uniform.
You're recording there, you're recording there, you're recording there.
All right, George, how are you?
I'm good. This is weird.
Okay.
Very strange.
Yes, you're in my fortress of solitude.
Yeah, I've never seen these before.
Yeah. That's it. I didn't think that because I know Josh has been here and this was transported over to Brooklyn.
How do you do that exactly? Do you just pack it up and ship it?
Yeah, in fact, that was we did a special service through FedEx. It's supposed to be first morning. It was called, and it didn't arrive there all day, and they thought it was lost, and it got there at 7:00 at night. So evidently, their mornings in New York are different than what we think here in the Midwest. So they finally did get it. We were getting a little bit worried, and it was in just a big box. I didn't even have time to frame it. It's still not framed, but and it was the biggest one of the bunch because it was intended to be the cover. And
so this is the largest.
The largest one of the bunch. Yeah, I think it's like they gradually got smaller as I did more of them.
Just take a little bit
up against deadline and things like that. And we were,
yeah,
Byron's running around the country. I'm painting these things. We're talking on the phone. We had some of them done. Some of the approved clues and stuff, and we were bantering back and forth on the phone to figure out who was going to do what in the clues. And like I said, I still don't know where they are, but the only one I did was the Cleveland painting here. That's the one I did know because I was there when he buried it. I didn't see him bury it, and when he buried it, I looked back at the. You are out of frame. Okay. Oh.
You're good.
Okay, let me start again. Okay, check. Okay. The only treasure I knew the location of was Cleveland. I knew the general location. I was there when Byron buried it, but I had my back turned because I was operating as a lookout for him. When he finished burying it, I went back to where he had buried it, and he said, "What do you think?" And I couldn't see where he buried it. So when they talked about Andy and Brian, found it how when they had to turn around and figure and count the stones and everything. I thought that was pretty clever. Byron at the time was taking notes after he buried it, was looking around, he was writing things down, and I'm sure he was counting stones and things like that. But like I said, I was there watching if anybody was coming near to tell him to stop digging, and but he was done pretty quickly, and when I looked, he had positioned the dirt back around that you couldn't even tell that he had been digging there at all. The dirt was pretty dry at the time. And the rest of them, like I said, I don't know where they are. I knew general locations, but not exactly. And when Jason found, Jason Krupat, is that how you say his name? Was found the treasure in Boston. In fact, I thought it was kind of funny that Jason said not to overthink the clues, and he neglected to see that it actually spelled Boston in the painting. But and like we said, the S stand stood also for Salem. She's a witch as far as looking like Christopher Columbus. They always were perplexed by, without getting too much detail about this round circle and some of the other things hidden in there. The circle was actually supposed to represent like a portal from the old Ironside. Is that the name of the ship that's there? Or USS Constitution?
Yep, the USS Constitution.
And so it was kind of meant to represent that as far as the North Star and things. The other thing I think that they missed too is that these are some of the what were these called again?
Semaphore.
Semaphores, the flags that were hanging from the USS Constitution there. At the time too, there was a band or an orchestra called the Boston Pops. So I have it spelling Boston, and then I have this.
That's
the little bubble ready to be popped by the Falcon there.
That's a contentious thing within the community. They're like, it's not popping, John.
Yeah,
it's not.
But it's going to be popped, so it's the Boston Pops. And it was nice how they did pick up on the piers here that were on the hair here, And Byron never told me why he wanted me to make this in the shape of a home plate, but I thought it might have been the green monster like they were talking about, and not realizing it was in this park. And so, and the rest of the stuff. This might be from a painting. This figure here, I'm not sure. I can't remember.
There was a painting it's called Pandora's Box, and I forget who painted it. It's basically this portion of the painting. It's the witch and the fairy and the box, and she's opening it.
Oh no, that's but that was the reference. I'm talking about this little figure here. It might have been in another painting, and the jewel was placed in her hand, but the figure was. I don't know if it was from the paintings by a noted artist over that are in the one of the libraries there or something, or some public building that's there. So, and then there are other things hidden in here that I won't go too much into.
We're not allowed to know yet.
Yeah, well, I don't know. It's like I said, some of these are, you could say there was a general template, but there wasn't anything that was meant to be that the template, and the fact that only certain things were done within that template, then other things sprouted out and went out from there. So,
yeah, we've noticed that these puzzles, they give you basically the same amount of information, but whether or not they give it to you via the verse or the painting
some
is
are
different.
more, yeah. I talk about certain paintings being, certain clues being more image heavy, and other paintings being more verse heavy. So, and some are more obscure than others. I think Byron didn't realize his own intelligence and thought a lot of these would be found more quickly and easily. There are a few things that I'm surprised people haven't picked up on yet. There's a few things that I still remember about some of the other paintings that I know that people haven't really picked up on yet. That they haven't caught, and I can't say what they are because those paintings have not been solved yet.
Yeah.
But and sometimes it seems like you need to turn left instead of turning right in a way in some of these. And like I said, I don't know where they are, but I know how Byron thought. I know that Byron had to get in very quick, like Jason said. He's got these treasures. He's got to get in and out quick. He's got to do it in a clandestine fashion so people won't see him. He's got to dig it deep enough so that it won't be discovered right away, And I think people have to keep that in mind. And now with all the people digging, of course, you have to have permission. You just can't go. The times have changed. You have to get permission now, and you can't go around digging holes.
All right. Sorry.
All right. Do you have are these paintings being picked up too, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you want to go over some questions that some people have?
Yeah, so let me, here, I can just hand you a list of questions.
Okay.
And then, so recently I made a post in the Facebook group saying that we were doing this and asking if anybody had any questions. And some of them are a little weird.
I like weird questions.
There's 93 of them.
God, put me under a hot spotlight and interrogate me.
Yeah, some of these you're not going to want to answer, but what I try to do is get just vague questions.
I need my other glasses there.
Oh.
Over on the table there. See them, they're open.
As your assistant, I will get your glasses.
I should read these out loud too. I can't count. Somebody, should I say their name?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
They're not going to mind.
All right, because some of them I can't.
Oh, I got called out.
Okay. Oh, I know that's right by their audio system.
That's fine.
Okay, let's see here. Michael Lutz asks, are there any location names, street names, or addresses hidden in those images aside from Boston being hidden? Well, it's called a treasure hunt for a thing, Yeah. I can't really comment on that. Legally, the property is still, the copyright is still owned and the contract is still in force. So the reason why I'm talking about these images right here are because they've been solved already, and I don't have the Chicago painting, but so that's why I can talk about what has been already proclaimed and discovered and then broadcast on the Discovery Channel. Okay, and that says, does Chicago or this is the same from Michael Lutz. Does Chicago or Cleveland have their respective zip codes hidden in those paintings as well? I can't comment if they do or they don't.
Well, we know that Chicago's got the latitude and longitude coordinates.
Well, I guess it does. I guess it had. Whatever you said there, I think it could very well have that. Let's see. Carly Perales, the poem which follows asks the poem which follows the paintings and precedes the verses states. Oh, it just went away. It just popped over. I didn't touch anything. It just popped over.
You broke it. It's your fault.
I'm going to read through these beforehand, I think, because some of them maybe...
Some of them are... I mean, I can go through it and give you decent ones. Because some of them are like, am I correct?
Yeah, I can't. Let's see. A dozen paintings share the clues. Is there anything Cleveland, Chicago, or Boston paintings which was intended to be shared as a... Do they share clues? Well, whether there is a template or not...
I think what Carly's talking about is there anything in the Boston paintings that specifically and only applies to like the Cleveland painting or not? Because there's a lot of people who think that while it's not 12 different puzzles, like it's like one thing with overarching and weird expanding.
Do they relate? Somewhat. Some of them relate.
Yeah, but I think they're talking about direct. Like, so if they're going through Boston, for instance, and there's a line that they don't understand, they tend to take that line and apply it to another city, if that makes sense. Or like take that
in
out.
the poem you're talking about? Oh, I don't know. I don't know if Byron did that. Byron was the word guy. I'm the visual. Byron was the words. And then we collaborated on some of the clues, and he would tell me sometimes that's too obvious, take it out, or don't put that in. But and then I'd say, how about this? And he would say, that's better, try this. He would ask me to do things without telling me where the treasures were. He would say, what about this? Or I have to do this. What do you think about that? I said, well, maybe if I do this, and if I use this optical device or something, because I mentioned to Josh, I mean, like, there's a lot of ickles in here. There's historical, astronomical, topographical, geographical. I mean, there's a number of things that were taken in different ways, both scientific and visual. So,
let's see. Yeah, because a lot of people so we can't. A lot of these questions are about the verses and probably stuff you can't answer. Like in Cleveland, there's a line we don't understand that's free speech, couplet, and birch. Nobody knows what that means.
I know that. I don't know if I can say this. That it took the internet to really get to that. This is common knowledge.
It's common knowledge
to solve that, where they had punched in the.
Yeah, let's just try it this way.
Is it running now?
It's it's recording here.
Okay. What were we talking about?
Free speech, couplet, birch.
That it took the internet to solve this, and the order of the words, and they inputted it. It came out to be something on one of the. I think it might have been the neighboring country, because where this was found was on Martin Luther King Boulevard. Which, here's another thing, too. The L for the bell here is for Liberty, because it used to be Liberty Boulevard. And when I told Byron they changed the name from Liberty Boulevard to Martin Luther King Drive, he was kind of happy because he felt it was buried. It was now a part of its history. The painting was part of a passage of time and history of the clues, and it made it more devious. But, of course, this is the second one that was found. And it's funny, it was found by nobody in Ohio.
Yeah.
And I had given a presentation to a school, a middle school classroom where I met my wife actually, and so her kids were trying to figure it out in her class, and they'd seen the terminal tower, and they were all excited. This like the helmet here is actually off Soldiers and Sailors Monument that's on Public Square in Cleveland. There's a monument there. I can't remember what the pyramid here is on the sphere, but that is something. This is a fountain that's by the Cleveland Museum of Art.
Oh, and we always assumed that was at the Italian Gardens.
It might be. See, now that's my memory. It's been 40 plus years that I've done hundreds of other book covers with, thousands of images over the years. So it's hard to remember some of this stuff. But yeah, I mean, this is the Greek cultural garden thing. This arch here too. This might and this line here is somewhere by here. I think. I mean, this is what the two columns in this are.
So the lion. The lion isn't the Italian gardens; it's a fountain. It's the same.
Yeah.
The columns are in the front of the.
Maybe that's why this was part of the thing. There's a lot of maybe misdirection here a little bit, and we have the state of Ohio here with the Interstate 71 and the little key in here where Cleveland is on the east side of Cleveland. So.
Oh wow! I never noticed that.
71 and here's 70 and 71. I didn't do, of course. I didn't get. This is 75 over here. I didn't do 77. A lot of the interstates weren't in back there that we have now, so there was a few of them there. So
yeah,
so the interstates are there, and there are a few other things hidden in there. That, and I'm trying to think. I know that this was the Greece because we did like a centaur and stuff like that. So
when people think that like the tail represents the
it does. I can't really say. It's there. The tail is there's something there with the tail.
There's something there with the tail.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, but whether it relates to another one or that kind of thing, I just
you're gonna so many problems.
But it's not. It's. I mean, I can be pretty cruel and devious.
You can. Yes.
But so
let's see. Your next question. Linda Spalding asked about the stuff around the thing, but she says you can't talk about that.
Well, yeah, that's meant to be figured out later. But the porthole that, in fact, Josh said, "What is this porthole?" And it's like it's the porthole for the ship where the cannons come out. So
let's see. The polo stick that the bird's sitting on in Boston. Are there baseball bases under her eyebrows? What?
Baseball's under her eyebrows. I don't think so.
These are the questions I get. Oh, do you have any idea what the building is?
At this stage, because since this was going to be the cover, we were also trying to show the treasure box, and the treasure box hadn't been kind of designed yet.
Yeah.
But I think, as they mentioned when Jason was looking around building that, I think I used a portion of the building that Byron showed me when he had the photographs of it. And like I said, I burned all that stuff, when after I'd go through it, get rid of it. And
so these were started before the box was created.
Might have been. I think we were all working on. I mean, Joellen was doing all those sculptures, and she had a lot of work to do for those.
Yeah,
and
because we have
plus they had photography. Ben Assen was the photographer, and so he had to coordinate with, I think, Joelle, and then they had to find locations to go in, and we had the famous comedian Henny Youngman pose with one of her sculptures and stuff like that. So it was a treat.
We have like a vague timeline of all of this. Like we know, the only thing we know for sure about the cast is when Chicago was buried. We know the day that Chicago was buried.
You do? I didn't even know that.
Chicago was buried. So Byron was at a book convention. It's where he met Sandy. And Sandy said they met at a bar, and that Byron left that bar and buried a treasure. And this happened to be across the street from Grant Park.
I'm trying to remember because I think I met Byron and Sandy met Byron. We both met him at around the same time, I think.
They met at an American Book Convention in Chicago during I forget the date.
She was in New York for the first part of their relationship.
Yeah, she had an office there and then went back to San Francisco.
Yeah, then she came back there. She was a publicist for Bantam Books, if I recall.
Yeah,
and but we met about the same time because I remember meeting her and Byron was teasing her about her lipstick, but anyway, yeah. In fact, when I got to I would use his apartment there, which was he was so gracious, and so when I could stay with him if I was seeing clients, but a lot of times he would go to see. Like he'd call Sandy religiously every night, like at 12 o'clock at night, and she was at 9 o'clock in San Francisco. But when he would go see her there, then I could use his apartment too. So it's like I had an apartment in New York, which is pretty cool. But I think we both met him about the same time because I remember him introducing me to her, and then I think he got married before I did, and I got married, a couple of years after he got married, and. But they were going out for a while. I think it was because I know I gave him a painting for for his wedding. It was a painting I'd done up in New England, up in Maine, of a boat building by some wharf with some lobster traps and stuff like that. Yeah, it was kind of a real kind of Andrew Wyeth kind of thing.
Nice.
Go ahead. You got some more questions?
People just telling you what they want you to. It's like the object of Dragon's attention is Twain. I don't know.
Now there's I have to appreciate some of the creativity some of these people have.
Yeah.
That they're trying to hit it from all angles, and more power to them. It's you can't overthink it, and you have to overthink it. I don't know how to describe it because sometimes Byron's a really crafty guy, and he's you have to figure.
If you look at the three that were solved, right? They were solved basically the same way. Now I'm sure there's stuff that we missed, but they're solved basically the same way. And it follows that the ones that follow this are kind of gonna follow along the same line.
Yeah, but now they're getting into the harder ones.
Yeah.
These were the ones that were found, even though it took 40 years to find three of them.
I don't understand that. Byron said the value of these gems was on average $1,000, right?
Yeah.
So when Chicago guys found their key, they got the gem, they got the emerald, but they also got the bill of sale for it.
Yeah.
And it was $1,200, which would make Chicago slightly harder than the average puzzle.
I don't think value has anything to do with it.
Oh, it said in the book, or somewhere, he said the value of the gem, or the more expensive the gem, the harder they would be to find.
Well, I don't know what to say to that. I don't know. See, Byron did a lot of talking to the book, so I don't know what he is told.
I'm guessing a lot of what he said is publisher trying to sell book.
It might be. I mean, the book wasn't in print for very long, I don't think, afterwards. I mean, we did the sale to Japan, and they had, they did the smaller version in Japan of the book, and it kind of it disappeared into history for me. I mean, I went on to do other things and, work for other publishers, and I didn't work for Byron anymore, but we're still good friends, and he would call me up and use one of my pieces of art if he saw a painting I did for a gallery or a show, and he could use it on a book cover. He would call and say, can I use it, for the one-time rights usage? But, and we still kept in, contact, and we'd still meet up when I would go to New York to see other clients, other publishers and things. But as far as what he would say to other people about bigger gems, more value if they're harder, I know that some of them got harder because of just they became more verse heavy and they became lighter in the visuals. So you have to look at where each painting is going to take you, whether it drops you with only so much knowledge, and then the other part has to be picked up by the verse, and then maybe you come back to the painting and you say, oh, that's what that little innocuous thing over in the corner means or something. And sometimes, like I said, I don't know where they are, but when Jason started talking about the Boston painting, it triggered some memories of some of the photos that Byron sent me, like I said, of the USS Constitution there, and a couple things with baseball diamonds and things like that. And I was like, yeah, okay, now it kind of makes sense,
Yeah.
But, I only own part of it. It's like I think I've always talked about, I talk about the SR-71, the super supply plane when they built that, how everybody only knew a part of what they were building until it all came together in some secret hangar somewhere in the, so it's kind of like that where everybody that was involved. I still think that the first part of the book has something to do with it. That's my own theory.
Yeah, we're digging into that pretty hard.
There might be something that's in those pages that's written, but somehow it will relate to the paintings, which makes it even more maddening. I mean, it drove Josh Gates nuts. But,
it seems the first part of the book is almost like the instruction, and that everybody skipped over it, because we're finding all of the verse, or all of the immigration stuff, all of the month stuff.
You mean the tale of the fair people and how they got to this country?
Yeah,
that's integral into it. You know, that's another part yet that I didn't think of.
Yeah. So we're digging into that a little more, and then there are people who are digging into the back of the book, and that's
what do you mean in the back of the book?
The back of the book, the Fair Folk Guide.
Oh, okay.
People dig into that. Let's see. Most of this is just beginning and ends. Oh, were any of these people inspired by real people? Any of the people in the paintings?
Mm-hmm. Oh, we mean inspired by real people.
That's just what the question asks. Are any of the people in the paintings inspired by real people?
Well, I had models. I even had a model for this that they think looks like Christopher Columbus.
Yeah.
And this is actually my brother here, who posed for the centaur. He doesn't have a horse body.
Roman numerals. These are all super specific.
I had some models, and then I could tweak them a little bit. It's like where Josh talked about the lion and the girl's face. There's a little bit of tweaking and stuff that goes on, and things are changed a little bit. I didn't go for likeness, I guess you could say, Some more.
Here's one you'll like talking about. Are there any tricks required to interpret anything in the images, like using mirrors, folding, 3D glasses? Like Mad Magazine when you had to fold?
Yes, but I can't. That's all I'm going to say. And I can't say which one.
I figured you would say that.
I can't, yes. And I can't tell you if it's anthropomorphic distortion or if it's color field shifting or if it's...
Let me ask you this. So anthropomorphic, there's a painting, I forget the name of it, but it's a skull. It's a painting.
I think it's Hans Holbein painting. Yeah, where it's stretched out. I think, it's the two merchants or something like that.
If you were to stand in front of this painting and you were to angle yourself properly, the skull is it's very obvious.
I've seen the original painting.
Right.
Yeah.
But if you do it in a book, it's not so easy. It's
but even if when you see the real painting, it's still like, you're like, what the hell is that?
Yeah.
And then they have a spot on the floor that you walk to.
Right.
And you look at the painting, and then you see the foreshortened skull.
But I'm curious if that applies to your work as well, like anthropomorphically.
I've used it in covers before, yes.
But once it's printed, does it translate to the printed page as well as it does in?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. It's just because it's a 2D surface, you know, and all you're doing is stretching an image. It's like you could do that in Photoshop now very easily. You could stretch it. You could stretch it so much that it's almost recognizable, and you'd have to get so far.
Yeah.
And then you're talking about your depth of field. You're talking about the bokeh on the image to try to focus it even with your eyes.
Because we've always assumed there's something like that in the Charleston painting, and I do that with air quotes. But no one can make it work. And I just kind of figured it was because it was a big painting taken down, made small, and it's hard to do in the book.
Yeah. Well, it was a little discouraging. Like, even in this one, I put all the work in the eyes and things like that, tear ducts and irises. And when that head is the size of a quarter, you can't
see any of it.
You have 300 DPI printing and it's even on the cover where it's a little bit large. It's a trade paperback, and the shellac that they varnish that they put on the cover to give it that glossy feel and increase the contrast of the image. It still joints together, so it's a little bit discouraging when you put that kind of work into something. But most of them translate. Most of it translates. I don't know about the new version because I've read things and heard people say that the new version of the book is poorly printed and it's very, very blurry, so it doesn't have the resolution. You're probably better off looking at stuff online, I think, to be honest with you. I think some of those are very good, and if somebody has scanned something from the original book where they have the...
they get better than that.
How's that?
Well, there's one person that's taken 5 or 6 different copies of the book, scanned them all, combined them all, and got a level of detail that's...
Really?
Yes.
Cool.
Unprecedented.
Very cool. Very cool.
Yeah.
Well, they can bring stuff out too. You can, and the painting will look terrible sometimes if they increase contrast and stuff, but you can fiddle with all kinds of stuff in there. And that might be just as the internet discovered got them on the right track. Andy and Brian for the Cleveland painting. Somebody fooling around with Photoshop may stumble upon something, and by adjusting a number of parameters in Photoshop that will go unmentioned.
See, it's weird with me because I try to tell people to keep things simple.
Yeah. Well, yeah, but simple, but it's who said that? Well, there was something
complex but not complicated.
Yeah, exactly. That's the thing I was thinking of, because I know that I had a friend that scanned one of my paintings in, and he was like, "You didn't use any black in here," and he thought I had used black, but I created a black by combining color. But I did use black just in one area. He goes, oh, wait a minute. And he saw where I said, and I knew where it was in the painting. But he thought I had used black in all painting. But by him using different color filters, he was able to see just in a little area. And so, some of that stuff could be happening here in some of these things. So everybody rush out and buy your copy of Photoshop.
Well, now you have to rent it monthly.
Yeah, I know. Believe me, I have a subscription, yeah.
Oh, I just pirate. So we were talking about earlier, can we name either of these?
I don't,
well, you said at this point they don't technically have names.
Yeah, they don't. I mean, it's, I think of this as like kind of the Cleveland Monument. I mean, and I couldn't say that before it was discovered, right. But it's more sometimes too, cultural gardens, and then I think of this one as it's like the Salem witch and stuff, and the one behind you I think of as the medieval scarecrow kind of thing. I also think of one of those things that they use when they're jousting that spin around, kind of like a
jousting target.
Yeah, like or kind of like even some type of windmill that maybe it's pointing in a direction where something is or something. So, but
yeah.
Well, we should talk about the.
Oh yeah, I'll go grab it.
Okay, great.
We should talk about that print too.
Oh yeah.
Over here, I'll grab it.
And let me put that in a safe place here. Yeah.
Here's that for you.
Okay.
You've never seen that one before, so there you go.
What, this one here? Yeah. Okay, hold on here. Wait, take that here.
Let's see how well the printer did.
Ooh. They're pretty good. Very close in color. A little bit more golden. I actually like it. I thought, sometimes they can adjust things a little bit. Gosh, I got to find out where to sign this thing. Let me get this shiny plastic.
So that.
Yeah, what's funny? Wait a minute here. I wonder what they did. They don't have the dresses different here.
Yeah, the dress is different. The arms, the box, they
took out
the fairy's gone.
Oh my gosh, you're right. This is some kind of primitive retouching they did so they could lay type on this? Is that what it was for?
I assume so. It came from the button. I always assumed this was like a first version of the painting.
No, this is the same painting. They just, I think they may have retouched this to take things out of it because of, they needed to overlay type, and they felt that unless Byron thought they were giving away clues by showing some of the stuff in the, the S and...
Because as far as I know, this was only used for the promotional buttons, and it was used for a poster.
Byron might have had it. Do you know who Alex J is?
Mm-hmm.
Alex J may have retouched this for that specific reason, that Byron did not want to have some of the clues showing. He may have had him doctor it just to kind of muck it up.
Yeah.
I would think though, sometimes usually when they do something like this is because they're gonna lay some type over it.
So yeah, they cut out put it in a big circle and then put the it's that button. Bantam has the secret.
I'm wondering why. Wait a minute.
And that looked like your work, so that's why I assumed it was.
No, it's mine, but it's retouched mine. I mean, they've taken stuff out and if you look, everything that they did is pretty much. It could have been retouched with airbrush on a transfer. There was a way for them to do retouching back then without using Photoshop. So I think they retouched it to either, one, hide some of the clues, two, that they were going to use it maybe for some other things, and if they blew it up, they don't want to have some of these things showing. So it's my painting. I know it, but it's just they omitted some things on it. So. Where do you want me to sign this thing?
I don't know. Down towards.
I have to put on the white.
Or you could sign it down here where next to your other signature.
Yeah, I mean, I can sign it right across. I mean, it's going to run across. It'll run off.
That's fine. But this will be like a one of one. We'll never make another one. You'll never sign another one?
No, okay. I will not.
And then we'll auction this off for Byron's charity.
Yeah.
Or do some sort of raffle probably.
It'll be a one-on-one. Yeah, it's a pretty good resolution on it too, I think.
Yeah, they did.
It's on a nice, decent paper and stuff, flat enough that it's not so shiny, that you don't want to...
I had one printed out on canvas. It wasn't that good.
Mm-hmm.
That one's better. I had one printed on canvas.
No, it's not on canvas. It's on paper. It's on a board, actually. So.
Yeah, I felt silly. I should have just got one that was bigger on paper for me.
Yeah, they did some retouching on this. They smoothed some stuff up. Somebody worked on this. I have a feeling it might have been Alex. Alex could. I'm trying to think what else did they.
So I actually asked Alex, and he said he had nothing.
He did. Okay.
He said it was all somebody at Bantam.
I'm going to go sign this over here. Okay. Okay. Wait.
Okay, there we go. Okay.
How do you know that's synced to this?
I'll sync it in post.
Oh, you will? Okay. Wait, now you got a few more questions here.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, no, I figured we could just talk. I mean, because I think most of the stuff that people want to know, you can't really say.
Yeah, I can't. I mean, I have to honor the contract. Like I said, it's very much alive. And I mean, I have to thank the people that spend all this time, and I get these packets in the mail from people that have spent an awful lot of time, and I can't comment on them, and I really feel bad about that because they've worked so hard on this. And I don't know if the person who owns the and controls the copyright now is responding to them, which I think he should.
He's not.
And it's part of his duty to, as publisher, should at least give these people a bearing instead of, some kind of false hope or something like that. So what am I seeing here?
That's just some the San Francisco painting. It's some digital art a guy did. I thought it was really cool. Figured you might like it.
The San Francisco painting. I don't get it. Where's my figure's not in here?
No, just the face.
Oh my gosh! Wait. Oh, duh, I see it now.
It's a puzzle. Sometimes.
Oh, okay. No, I can't. I've been spoofed by my own image. Okay, I get it. I can see it now.
He did one of you too.
Yeah. Oh no. Oh no. Did he?
Yeah. Yeah, that was kind of cool. Let me see if I can find it. He might have just sent that one to me. I think he did. It's his name.
You'll have to send it to me. Or we'll put it on the Facebook page.
Oh, he did one of me too. Awesome. Yeah, I'll just send you the one he did of you. I don't see it. He did one of me. Okay. Yeah, I'll find it. I'll send it to you.
Anyway, what is Byron? Now, I want to commend you because Byron's... You've done so much fundraising, right?
Yeah.
For this. I mean, you kind of head up this community of how many people now? With
like 13,000.
13,000. And you've done charity work for Byron, right? You raised money for, what was this foundation's name?
Byron Price Children's... I should have known this. I just looked it up. Byron Price Children's Foundation for the Jewish something or other in New York.
And it's like a children's literacy program.
Children's literacy.
And then you've raised money for
St. Jude and Make-A-Wish.
St. Jude. St. Jude is my charities and stuff like that. So I think you should be commended for that. And I have little something for you here that you may want to share with the viewers here.
Okay.
And here, wait. That has my address on it. Don't look. So here you might want to pull that out, and this is going to be yours.
No, you're fucking kidding.
No, I'm serious.
Oh my God, John. Oh my God. No, I can't.
Yeah, it's yours.
Oh my God.
So this is the. You might recognize that. It still has the registration marks on from the printing, and it's in very good shape, I must say. So. That's yours.
Oh, John, I'm gonna crack.
Well, you frame it up and you show me the frame when it's done. It is on illustration board, so it's I don't know if you can peel it or have somebody peel it. But will it fit in your suitcase?
Yeah, it'll fit in check.
Okay, well here, you have this to protect it, and I can give you something else. I don't know if you have it has a pretty good surface on it. Let me see. Yeah, this is I couldn't show Josh this, but because part of it has been...
Yeah, I got it on my arm.
Yeah. Well, that was been edited. That was edited in the book. Yeah. See, but now you see it. And I couldn't show Josh this at the time when he did it because I just didn't want to do that. So, and actually, this looks like the day it was painted. I mean, it is really fresh looking.
It's beautiful.
So this, see, the thing is, see this stuff here?
Yeah.
if you can carefully peel that off the whole back, it's really dicey to do. And that's why you probably don't want to do it. See this white layer here?
Yeah.
That's the good stuff.
Okay.
And over time, you can work it little by little without breaking through. And then if it gets down to a certain point, you take a little bit of sandpaper and sand that off. You can still leave this on, but what eventually will happen over the years, but you might be dead and gone by the time it happens, is that this, and I would put this, even though this is a pretty good durable surface, because it's on board, and if it gets knocked, get UV plexi. Yeah. Put UV plexi on it, but
I have a frame.
It's a nice color in this. I already love this color I used to use.
I like it's going to sound like an insult, but it's not. It's got like an 80s sort of style with the bright colors that pop out. Mm-hmm. This mountain that I have.
There's also a face in there nobody sees either.
Well, there's an alligator head.
Yeah, but there's also a face.
Yeah, people see that.
And that.
Yeah, people see that. And then the outline of Florida here.
Yeah.
Nobody can quite figure out what this is.
That's something there, and I can't tell you, figure out what. I know it's something, but I can't say, but I don't know what it is. I can't remember.
But we know the latitude and longitude coordinates in it. We know with the flowers.
Yeah, okay.
There is a painting by Dali that it was done after The Secret.
Yeah.
But it's
done after The Secret?
I think so. It's so similar to that. It's
Well, he did Don Quixote all the time.
Madonna in the Rock? It's something in the. It's not Madonna in the Rocks, but it's a mountain where if you turn it upside down, it's David.
Right.
Have you seen that?
No. You might be able to just take this as a carry-on, but I don't know where you would put it.
Oh, I will figure it out.
I can see if I got a big box if you wanted to ship it to yourself, but
could crate it.
I'd love to see it when it's done framed. Send me a shot of it when it's framed.
John, that's way too much.